Okay, so far we have done all of this. We have learned about manuscripts and stuff. Let's read that part. But many have survived, often preserved in temples and monasteries. These books dealt with all kinds of subjects, religious beliefs and practices, the lives of kings, medicine, and science. Besides, there were epic poems, plays. Many of these were written in Sanskrit, others in Prakrit. Prakrit was languages used by ordinary people, and Tamil. Okay, we can also study inscriptions. These are writings on relatively hard surfaces. So before we were really talking about the bark and the palm leaf, now we're talking about the relatively hard surfaces, such as stone or metal. Sometimes kings got their orders inscribed so that people could see them, read, and obey them. So kings were kind of very ruler kind of people back then. So there are other kinds of inscriptions as well, where men and women, including kings and queens, recorded what they did. So maybe kind of like a diary. So they kept records of everything. As it says over here, for example, kings kept records of victories and battles and stuff. Okay, and oldest inscription. This inscription dates to about 2,250 years ago and was found in Kandahar, present-day Afghanistan. Also, sorry about the last part of the last part of this chapter. The sound didn't work quite well in the start, but please ignore that. That was just a little bit of a recap that I was talking through. You can still do a little recap of my part 3 if you still want to recap, but sorry about that sound problem right there. It happens sometimes, sorry. Okay, let's get back to what we were doing. And was found in Kandahar, present-day Afghanistan. So there were many inscriptions. It is not only talking about India, it's talking about the whole world. Because everything was developing, each and every country was developing really, so they had to really tell you about all the types. We're really close to the end of this part. It was inscribed on the orders of a ruler named Ashoka. So the great Ashoka, you might have heard him before, but we will read more about him in chapter 8. So when we write anything, we use a script. A script contains of letters or signs. When we read what is written or spoken, we use our language. So as you can see, this is quite hard to understand, this inscription. Remember, there's an inscription, right? Inscription, and not a manuscript. Relatively hard surfaces, remember that. The script contains of letters or signs. Oh, we've already read that anyways. This inscription was inscribed in 2 different scripts languages. Greek on the top. Ooh, Greek looks quite good. And Aramaic on the bottom. So this is Aramaic. Even I have seen some present languages that look like that, so it's really cool. Also, over here, I can see a N over there. I can see a A over there. Maybe the English language that we have right now came from Sanskrit or maybe even Greek, right? That's some renderings which were used in this area. Can you think of the advantages of writing on a hard surface and what could have been the difficulties? So let's think about that. What are the difficulties? The difficulty can be maybe it's hard to inscribe what they write, right? So it's really hard to really hammer it on it, or maybe they found really sharp stuff and wrote it on it, but it would have been quite hard to write on that. the advantages is that it will long quite it will long quite last. So it will last quite long. Yeah, that's what I meant. So it will last quite long, and it will be really good. If it lasts that long. Maybe they wanted their future to know that the great Ashoka was really, really good. So that could be something. Um, there were many other things that were made and used in the past. Those who study these objects are called archaeologists. So everything that we've learning about, they are really found from archaeologists. So in the past, they did stuff, and then in the present, archaeologists dig or find clues. Like this is a clue that Ashoka was a king. Yeah, that's a proof that he was a king. And that's a proof that they did wars back then, right? Um, they studied the remains of buildings made of stone and brick and painting and sculpture. So that's exactly what I said right there. They also explore and excavate, dig under the surface of the earth to find tools, weapons, pots, pans, ornaments, and coins. Some of these objects may be made of stone, others of bone, baked clay or metal. Objects that are made of hard, imperishable substances usually survive for a long time. So we've got like about 3 more pages to go, but yeah, this was part 5, I think. Yep, part 5 because it's page 5. Yeah, that was part 5. Tune in for the part 6 and hope you have any